My child, I've been waiting for you. Don't turn away now. This could change everything. You didn't stumble here by accident. This moment has been waiting for you. I've been waiting for you, not to test you, not to demand anything, but simply to be near. I knew you'd arrive. Maybe not yesterday, maybe not when everything hurt the most, but today, when your heart is still tender enough to wonder, is someone still here? I didn't come to overwhelm you. I didn't come to judge. I came to be with you, in the silence, in the weariness, in the part of you that you've been hiding for so long. I've seen your quiet pain. I've watched you keep going when your soul was running on empty. I know how hard it's been to carry so much alone, and I never left. I was there when you couldn't feel me, when you went quiet, when you pushed through without hope. I didn't wait for you to reach for me. I stayed close, because I knew what you didn't, that someone needed to remain, even when you had nothing left to give. So don't turn away now. Don't rush past this. You're not late. You're not too far gone. What comes next? It's for you. Not to impress you, not to pressure you, but to remind you of what's still true. I was with you. I still am. And I'm not leaving. Not now, not ever. I was with you, even when it felt like no one was. You remember the silence, not just around you but inside. Life moved on, but something in you stopped. You went through the motions. You did what needed to be done. You smiled when people looked, but deep down, something felt hollow. You started to believe you were alone, that maybe even I had walked away. But I didn't. I was with you on the nights you didn't want to wake up to another day. I was in the room when you stared at your phone, unsure who to reach out to. I was there in the stillness you stopped noticing. My presence doesn't always announce itself. It's not loud. It doesn't demand your attention, but it never leaves. I held you when you didn't even know how to hold yourself. I guarded your soul when you stopped knowing how to pray. I was the quiet strength beneath your weakest moments, not because you asked perfectly, not because you believed enough, but because I knew someone had to stay even when you couldn't say a word. And I stayed. I didn't flinch when you fell quiet. I didn't walk away when you thought no one could see what was happening inside. I never needed your performance, just your heart, even tired, even hidden, even silent. You were never alone, not for one moment, not then, not now, not ever. You didn't lose my love, even when you lost yourself. There were seasons when you couldn't recognize who you'd become. Moments when you looked in the mirror and felt like a stranger. When your thoughts no longer felt like your own. When your choices confused you, disappointed you. And somewhere in the chaos, you began to believe you'd lost me too. But you didn't. I didn't leave you when you drifted. I didn't love you less when you couldn't find your way. My love has never been a reward for strength or clarity. It's a decision I made long before your confusion, before your failures, before your silence. I chose you, and I still do. Even when you forgot who you were, I didn't. Even when you lost your sense of direction, I remained. My love didn't shrink when your hope did. It didn't fade when your emotions grew numb. I didn't withdraw. I stayed. Not because you did everything right, but because you still belong to me, even in the dark. You may feel distant from me, but I've never been far. And even if you've stopped calling yourself mine, I haven't stopped calling you my own. You are still known, still loved, still held. Not because you've held on, but because I have. I held you when you couldn't hold yourself. You thought it was all up to you, that if you let go, everything would fall apart. So you kept going, tired, anxious, stretched thin. You smiled when you were breaking. You stayed strong when all you wanted was to collapse. And somewhere along the way, you began to believe that survival was your job alone. But it wasn't. I was there when you let go. When the weight finally became too much. When you crumbled quietly and wondered if anything would catch you. You may not have seen it, but I did. I caught you. I didn't need you to be strong to stay close. I was already close, already holding what you didn't have strength to carry anymore. You thought you made it through on your own, but that was me. Steady beneath your chaos, present in your silence, covering you when the ground gave way. You didn't fall apart because I was holding the pieces. You didn't disappear because I never let go. My nearness isn't something you earn through strength, it's what I give in love. I don't wait for you to steady yourself before I come near. I stay because I chose you, not the polished version of you, not the strong version, but you, right here, as you are, and I'm still here, always. I saw how you lived with the pain, and I didn't condemn you. You didn't choose the pain. It found you, slowly, or all at once. Maybe it came from loss, betrayal, silence, loneliness. You did what you could to survive it. Sometimes that meant pulling away. Sometimes it meant making choices you didn't fully understand. Sometimes it meant pretending everything was fine, just to make it through the day. And I saw it all. Not just the moments you're proud of, but the ones you're not. The ones you wish you could take back. The ways you coped when nothing else made sense. I saw your quiet collapse behind closed doors. I saw the numbness that crept into your days. I saw the aching in your chest that no one else noticed. And I didn't turn away. I didn't shake my head at your struggle. I didn't keep score of your worst days. I understood. I stayed. Because you weren't failing. You were surviving. And survival doesn't always look clean or graceful. It looks like doing whatever it takes to breathe, to stay, to make it through just one more moment. You never had to earn my compassion. I was there, holding your heart even when you couldn't feel it beating right. You didn't disappoint me. You didn't disqualify yourself. I stayed, not because you were perfect, but because you are precious. Still, always. You don't have to be ashamed of how you made it through. You did what you had to do. It wasn't always perfect. It wasn't always wise. But you were trying to survive, to breathe, to keep going, to hold yourself together when everything inside you was falling apart. And now, looking back, maybe you carry shame. Maybe you replay choices and wonder if you failed. But I don't see failure. I see someone who didn't give up. I watched you walk through things most people never knew about. I saw you hide your pain so others wouldn't worry. I saw the nights you collapsed behind your own strength. You didn't have the answers, but you kept moving. Even your mistakes were shaped by exhaustion, not rebellion. You weren't trying to run from me. You were trying to survive the storm. And I didn't leave. I didn't grow cold. I didn't change the way I loved you. I covered you. Protected what was still alive inside of you. Waited with tenderness, not judgment. You didn't ruin anything between us. You didn't destroy your worth. You are still mine, and your story is still sacred. So let go of the shame. You don't have to hide how you coped. You were never meant to carry guilt for how you kept breathing. I saw the whole story, and I stayed. And now I want to do more than just stay. I want to heal what you never thought could be touched. Let me. You're safe now. I'm healing more than your pain. I'm healing how you lived with it. Pain doesn't always leave when it ends. Sometimes it lingers in how you see yourself, in how you brace for things to go wrong, in how you keep your heart guarded even from good things. You've learned how to survive, but survival can harden you, quiet you, drain you. I see all of that. And I came not just to comfort, but to restore. I'm not just healing the wound, I'm healing the weight it left behind. The tension in your chest that never relaxes. The fear of hope because it's disappointed you before. The part of you that flinches at kindness because it feels unfamiliar. I see all the ways pain shaped how you move through life, and I'm touching those places now, gently, fully, faithfully. You don't have to pretend you're okay. You don't have to fake strength or numbness. I'm not here to rush you past what hurt. I'm here to walk with you through the spaces where pain taught you to hide. I'm not just removing what broke you. I'm returning what you lost. This is healing that reaches deeper than relief. This is healing that brings you back to yourself, to the version of you that pain tried to silence. The one who still hopes, still feels, still belongs. I'm not just treating your pain. I'm restoring your life. One breath, one moment, one quiet miracle at a time. I'm healing the kind of exhaustion no one sees. You've been tired for a long time, not just in your body, but deep in your soul. The kind of tired that sleep can't fix. The kind of weariness that settles in slowly, silently, until one day you realize you've forgotten what it feels like to feel light. You've kept showing up, kept moving, kept smiling. But inside, you've been running on empty. And I've seen it. I've seen you push through days with a quiet ache behind your eyes. I've seen you care for others while neglecting yourself. I've seen you smile through conversations when all you wanted was silence. I know the cost of what you've carried. I know how heavy it's been to feel like you have to keep it all together. But you don't have to keep pretending. I'm not asking for energy or motivation or joy you don't have. I came to meet you in this tired place. Not to pressure you forward, but to gently restore what's been drained. Not with demands, with kindness. With rest your heart forgot was possible. You're allowed to breathe here. You're allowed to let down the weight. I'm not rushing you back to life. I'm breathing life into you, slowly, quietly, deeply. I see the exhaustion no one talks about. And I'm here to say, it matters. You matter. And I'm not just here to help you keep going. I'm here to help you come alive again. My love for you never got smaller, not even once. You've pulled away. You've gone quiet. There were days you didn't talk to me, didn't feel me, didn't even want to try. You felt distant, not just from me, but from yourself. And somewhere along the way, you started to believe that maybe I had backed away too. That maybe you had lost my love by being too far, too silent, too tired. But you didn't. I never moved. My love isn't fragile. It doesn't depend on how consistent you are. It doesn't rise and fall based on your moods or choices. I don't love you more when you're strong, and I don't love you less when you're lost. My love is steady, anchored in who I am, not in how you perform. I didn't grow cold when you stopped praying. I didn't turn my face when you felt numb. I stayed. I stayed through the silence, through the anger, through the ache. I didn't wait for you to come back. I followed you into the places you thought I'd never go. Because I never stopped loving you, and I never will. If you're reaching for me again, even with a whisper, know this. I never stopped reaching for you. My love hasn't faded. It hasn't changed. It's still here. Wide, warm, open. Waiting without pressure. Holding without condition. You were never forgotten. Not for a moment. I haven't forgotten how much you've been through. You've walked through things that left marks no one else can see. You've fought battles in silence. You've faced mornings where getting up was a victory. Nights where tears never reached the surface but lived heavy in your chest. And even if no one noticed, I did. I remember every part of your story. Not just the visible pain, but the invisible strength it took to keep going. I was there when you stayed quiet just to keep the peace. When you said, I'm fine, because you didn't have the words. When you kept moving through heartbreak like nothing happened. I never looked away. I never forgot. And I never dismissed any of it. Your struggle wasn't small to me. It was sacred. You didn't just survive. You endured with more courage than you'll ever give yourself credit for. Even when you were breaking, you kept choosing to stay. Even when you had every reason to shut down, you left the door open, just a crack, hoping that maybe love would come through. And I did. So don't believe the lie that your pain didn't matter, that your journey was unseen. I saw it all, and I honor it. You're not weak. You're strong in the ways that count most. And I'm still here. Not just to witness the next chapter, but to write it with you, gently, faithfully, with healing in every line. I'm not with you because you're strong. I'm with you because you're mine. You've been trying to be enough, to be stable, responsible, faithful. You thought if you could just keep it all together, I would stay close. But when it all started to slip, When the emotions hit, when the confusion grew, when your strength ran out, you feared I'd pull away. But I didn't. I never planned to love only the strongest version of you. I stay because I chose you, not the polished you, not the version with answers and momentum. I chose the one who sometimes doubts, sometimes falls, sometimes wants to give up. I chose you, and my choice hasn't changed. You don't have to earn my nearness. You don't have to perform for me to stay. I don't draw close because you're doing well. I draw close because you belong to me, even when you forget how to believe, even when you don't feel worthy. My love doesn't start and stop with your emotions. It simply remains. You may be holding on by a thread. You may feel like you've lost your grip, but you're not the one holding this together. I am. I'm the steady one. I'm the faithful one. And I'm still here, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. Mine. Still mine. Always mine. I wasn't just near. I'm ready to lift you again. What you've walked through wasn't the end. Even if it felt like everything collapsed, even if you thought there was nothing left, I never saw ruin. I saw the beginning of restoration. I don't just comfort what's broken, I rebuild. Not rushed, not shallow, but real, lasting, from the inside out. I know what you've lost. I know what's been drained out of you, but I haven't forgotten what still lives inside. The part of you that's quiet but not dead. The part that still wants to believe. That part, I'm breathing into it now. Not with pressure, not with force, but with love, with peace, with the kind of gentleness that revives what's been asleep for too long. You're not too far gone. You haven't missed your moment. What's next for you isn't about proving anything. It's about healing, about living without fear, about remembering who you really are when you're not just surviving. I'm not here to demand life from you. I'm here to give it back. This isn't about going back to who you were. This is about becoming who you are, whole, steady, free. You don't have to make it happen. Just let me carry what's left. I'll lift you. I'll walk with you. And together we'll move forward, not in pressure, but in peace. Not in fear, but in quiet strength. You're not alone, and you never will be.